Gather round, there's a new video in town, and it's about the menace Thrag. Now, I don't know what it is about social media, but for some reason, people were putting Thrag and fraud in the same sentence, the same paragraph, and the same essay. I don't know if it was because it was being gassed up like Thanos, or because anime fans have seen countless times where a character was hyped up to the max, only for them to look like James Harden in the playoffs. Now, me personally, my only problem with the character was the voice. It didn't live up to the hype. Like, when he's talking normally, it's absolute peak. But when it comes to the moments where he had to show actual emotion, he fell flat in my opinion. The voice wasn't matching the animation, but he still did a phenomenal job though. Now, Thrag was birded to be the strongest Viltromite in history. Similar to Broly, he came out the womb with a power level over 9,000. Mans was the Michael Jordan of Viltromites. Nobody was seeing him in anything. It was either believe the hype or end up like the Guardians. Thrag had everybody on the show stressed out. You got Thaedus looking like Nick Fury going around the galaxy forming the Avengers, Omni-Man realizing that beating up his son wasn't a good idea and thinking about clapping Debbie's cheeks again. And then you got Mark over here like, bruh, I just got done fighting for my life against Conquest. Can I at least get a break for once? I know this is my show, but I'm not really. While everyone's coming together, bro hasn't said a single word yet. Now, he may not have said anything, but his drip did the talking for him. One thing about the Viltromites is that they always know how to look clean. They got elite barbers, elite hairstyles, elite hair patches, even got Steve Harvey on their side. But Thrag saw all of that and took it to a new level. This man got a mink coat with a lineup so crisp that you would have thought he booked an appointment with a social media barber. Now, when you see how clean the Viltromites are, it makes you wonder what the hell was going on with Mark and Nolan, because it's been 4 seasons and I haven't seen 1 ounce of drip from them. This man Nolan dresses up like a default character in a video game, and Mark dresses like an NPC. Like, Nolan, really, bro? You really had an outfit on with no shoes on.
You look dusty.
Bruh, oh my goodness.
Your fit is trash.
Anyway, drip is so trash that their alternate counterparts dress better than them.
Do you see this cup?
Boy, if y'all don't go fly to Tokyo or Paris and get a dressing montage or something. Now, if there was one thing questionable about this man Thrag that could possibly make him a fraud, was his actions after claiming the throne. First day on the job and he kills a black man. Yeah, obviously gotta bring the race into it. Like, you got hundreds, maybe thousands of Viltromites right in front of you, and your first thought is to go after the black man?
You don't find that suspicious?
I know Viltromites are basically space Nazis, but you could have at least went after someone that shared the same skin color as you, considering that's who killed Argyle. Which is kind of funny because that's just like, you know what, never mind. But in the comics, they didn't let everybody know who killed Argyle, they just kept it a secret. So, yeah. After killing Black Man with dreads, he tells everybody to make sure no one even thinks about betraying the Viltromite Empire again, and that results in the dumbest bloodbath in history. Or at least one of the dumbest. Instead of just making the black dude an example for everyone to fall in line, he makes every Viltromite kill each other.
What?
And this is where I realized that the Viltromites are incredibly dumb. The Viltromites are who Frieza thinks the Saiyans are. A bunch of dumb monkeys that only care about being the strongest and conquering the galaxy. Wait, hold on, that might be too accurate. Well, I'll just say this. The Saiyans would not have done anything even remotely stupid like that. Frieza would have had the Viltromites in check without having to use one racial slur. Flash forward to the war and things are looking bright for the coalition army because they are putting belt to ass. But Thrag was not worried at all because he had something special cooked up for them, because he literally attacked Thaedus' planet right after and then went back to Viltromite to deliver one of the greatest ass whoopings in history. So Thaedus sees them returning to Viltrom as a means to end the war. And he's absolutely right, because all it takes is one good plan and it's GG. Which is kind of funny because that's technically what happens later on, but hey, we ain't get there yet. So it's basically a do or die situation. They arrive to Viltrom and guess who they see? Thrag himself posted up like the final boss. And I ain't talking about the Rock final boss, I'm talking about the final boss. They walked into a trap and things start to get shaky for the coalition army. Nolan tries to knock Thrag's head off, but this man starts moving like Michael Jackson and hits a literal moonwalk. I got this! Step back was so smooth that you couldn't tell if he did it in slow motion or he's just moving that damn fast. Nolan turned around and all he saw was a big Nazi fist getting ready to rock his You see, Thrag is someone I like to call an impact framer, because everything he does delivers some kind of impact. Thrag punched this man in the stomach so hard that he sent them flying all the way down to Viltrum, looking like the Sands when they first landed on Earth. Nolan and Thrag have a private conversation with each other, and this can be seen in two different ways. Two friends having a conversation and wanting them to join the other, or it could be seen as Thrag warning Nolan that, hey, I could really end you right now and have your kids make a TikTok memorial reel. Nolan wasn't with it, and this man Thrag hit the most disgusting move I have ever seen in my life. This man hit Nolan with the most lethal uppercut in history. Now we know how legendary the uppercut is. It's basically the crane kick of fighting. One tap and you're going to sleep. But you see, Thrag's uppercut was something we've never seen before. This man didn't just hit a normal uppercut. This man hit a airbender uppercut. He somehow channeled enough velocity to cause a mini tornado to pull Nolan right to him. Thrag punched this man so hard that he sent him flying into space. Like, Lord have mercy. This man channeled Spider-Man, Superman, General Zod, Mortal Kombat, Debo, Mike Tyson, even the bus driver artist. You know the funny part about this uppercut is that it didn't even have to add the little theatrics to the punch. He was so close to this man's face that you would think this was a WWE face-off before a pay-per-view. After giving Nolan a biblical reckoning, everyone's favorite dumb YA, Oliver, tries to run the fade with Thrag. Now before we get to this embarrassing moment, Oliver really does not listen to anyone's advice. Oliver is the embodiment of everyone who was calling Thrag a fraud in the first place. He didn't believe in none of the hype, and everybody was telling him, hey, Thrag is really like that, and he's like, nah, I'd win. Where have we heard those lines before? But not a spoiler. Not a spoiler. I mean, it's not really a spoiler if you've been on social media. But hey, that's none of my business. You would think after fighting Conquest multiple times, oh wait, my bad. Technically fighting Conquest, because he said it himself. Hey man, I fought Conquest. This ain't nothing. But we know the truth. You would think after fighting Conquest multiple times and getting absolutely ripped to pieces by that man, that he would become a little bit more wiser in his actions. But nope, he ran up on Thrag and got his attack blocked and realized for the millionth time that he's a side character. Bro spent all that time with his dad training just to get done up like this. Bro tried running away, but Thrag was like, I am not Conquest, and ripped his arm clean off.
Get out! You're not open!
Now in the show, it looks like he just ripped his arm off, but really he ripped his arm and his jaw off, which is honestly crazy because this man did you so bad that he didn't even, that blocking the punch wasn't even enough for him. This man pulled a Vegeta. He literally did what Vegeta was going to do to Broly in the Broly movie. When Vegeta realized that Broly wasn't like that, he was about to clap him with the quickness. Thrag said, bruh, this boy trash. He ain't got no potential to be a Viltromite. He might got Viltromite in his blood, but he ain't got that Viltromite blood. And ripped that arm and jaw clean off. And now he's just floating around in the background with all the Viltrumites, just thinking about his actions like, damn, bruh, I really should have listened to everybody. Mark sees his brother stretched out and goes into big brother mode. Now, you know a beatdown isn't official until Mark gets the brace beat off of him. I mean, we've seen that for 4 seasons straight. Mark told Thrag he killed Conquest and everybody was shook besides Anissa, who looked like she wanted to have his baby. Thrag was like, show me. Mark goes charging at this man full speed ahead and Thrag hasn't moved an inch. No battle stance, no nothing. Just straight up aura. Mark tried hitting Thrag with a Viltrum smash and this man looks Mark dead in his eyes and blocks the punch with his head. That's not even the craziest part. Remember how I called Thrag an impact framer? This exact moment is why I call him that. Before Mark's punch even landed, one of Thrag's frames is the devil himself.
One of Satan's greatest soldiers.
Nah, bro. The animators gave this man a devil frame We've seen other characters do the most diabolical things known to man, and they never got special treatment. But this man right here, all he did was hit Omni-Man with a bus driver uppercut, and the animator started glazing him up immediately. Like, do you know how much glazing that is to give a man a devil impact, a devil frame? Like, that's crazy, bruh. All this man did was kill a black man and hit a bus driver uppercut. And the animator said, nah, man, this dude is Satan's greatest soldier. He's the devil. He ain't even Satan's greatest soldier. He is Satan. He is like that. After Thrag blocked that punch with his head, I started getting DBZ flashbacks because whenever a character got hit with that move, they were about to get treated worse than Yamcha. Thrag hit Mark with a nasty two-piece and then slapped him so hard that he broke the sound barrier, which is literally impossible because in space you can't hear anything. Mark went Mach 22 just to get clapped in Ultra 4K. At least that's what Amazon promoted it as. Thrag was getting ready to cook Mark some more, but everyone's favorite demon, Battle Beast, wants to fight as well. Now we all know Battle Beast is a demon. When it comes to Viltromites, he is that guy. Battle Beast beat up Mark so bad that they had to give this man his own spin-off comic. Once he pulled up on Thrag, Thrag was like, hold up, you got 2 more seasons before you're worthy of my hands, and sent them flying into space. After getting cooked by Thrag, Nolan was like, bruh, I got hit with an uppercut that's never happened in the video game. Oliver got one-shotted, and Mark is seeing the devil. So he had to take a page out of Frieza's playbook and destroy Planet Viltrum with no hesitation. After destroying Planet Viltrum, it should be over, right? Because now they have no home or no purpose. But I should have known it wasn't over because when Superman destroyed the Codex and Man of Steel, that didn't stop General Zod. In fact, it turned him into a crash out, which is exactly what Thrag did. Thaedus was trying to give the remaining Viltrumites a weak-ass Optimus Prime speech, but Thrag was so pissed that he ripped the meteor in half and said, nah, the fight not over. This man popped up like the Undertaker, and the only person that was afraid was Mark, which is highly understandable because he's been getting belt to ass for 4 seasons straight. If you thought Thrag was scary before, well, he was a straight up demon now. He went straight for Thaedus and ripped his head clean off, looking like a predator after he catches a worthy prey. This man moves so fast that Nolan and Mark didn't even see him coming. Like, he really could have clapped all 3 of them at the same time if he wanted to.
If he wanted you out of there, he'll go do it himself on feet by himself.
Him taking out Thaedus is low-key a big deal because Thaedus was literally a one-man army. He was putting belt to ass to all of the Viltrumites by himself. And then Thrag just pulls up out of nowhere and one-shots him like that. Call it what you want, but Thrag is really like that. Thrag didn't even savor the moment of finally killing the betrayer of the Viltrumite Empire. He went straight for Nolan next and started wailing on this man like Superman and Man of Steel. That man said, hey, I messed up with Thaedus, but for you, I'm gonna take my time. He even got the Superman punch reference as well, which is something I don't agree with, but hey, it's whatever. Thrag was in his bag with Mark and Nolan because he did them so dirty. Nolan tries to attack him and gets his arm broken, leaving Mark to defend himself for the millionth time. Mark used the secret Joestar technique and ran away immediately. Mark is basically a Hall of Fame meme merchant because the animators found another way to create another legendary meme with this man. They turned another traumatic moment for him and turned it into a generational meme. I've never seen this man run away like that before, and the terrifying part is that he wasn't going anywhere. This man was moving at Mach 22, but this man Thrag was moving at Mach 40. Like, he was literally on his ass. He might as well just stayed still and accepted his fate because he was going nowhere. Nolan saves Mark from getting his head knocked off, and he's like, how do we beat this man? And Nolan's like, I don't know, call Goku. How the hell should I know? Nolan already knew they were about to die, and he was trying to get Mark to understand that. But before he could tell him something, Thrag rearranged his guts and had them spread all across the galaxy, looking like Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy when he threatened, what's his name? Ronan the Empire. Whatever that, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Then Thrag headbutts Mark so hard that he broke the sound barrier again. Thrag gets ready to turn Mark into invincible, but decides to let him live because there's already too many Viltrumites dead. Nolan and Mark look like they just got finished fighting Krillin, thinking that they fought Goku. After a beatdown like that, you would think it was over, but Thrag said, let me apply a little bit more pressure, and invaded Earth. Just not the way you think he did. Thrag and some of the Viltrumites were already on Earth and gave Mark a choice. Either get down or lay down.
Get down. Huh? Get down.
This beatdown was so legendary that I had to go look at the comics to see the differences, and it was actually crazy how different it was. Lots of dialogue erased and a lot of character changes. To be honest, Thrag even remotely being called a fraud prior to the beatdown is honestly crazy to me, which is why I'm glad he beat the supposed allegations that were thrown his way. This man beat Mark up so bad that he was having hallucinations of him everywhere he went. This man was on Earth for like 5 seconds and he was already getting flashed. He was already getting PTSD of that ass whooping. Like that's new levels of ass. That's new levels of trauma right there. And I know in the comics they literally went straight to it. They literally went straight to Thrag letting Mark and Nolan know that, hey, he's on Earth. Whereas on the show, they built it up. So if you don't want to read the comics, I'll just say this. Everything that happened in the final episode of the show is literally in reverse. Me personally, after watching Thrag literally clap everybody in 4K, I can't wait to see what other ridiculous feats he has and how this war will end. If you're one of the people that thought Thrag was a fraud, let me know in the comments if he beat the allegations or not. But like always, thanks for watching the video. Leave a like and comment and subscribe for more. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.